Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, spiritual global entrepreneurs. Welcome to the EGU podcast, Abundance Frequencies. You're with Michelle Reinhardt. Let's get cracking. And marketing with integrity is our topic today. And I am super excited to bring today's guest to you. We've been following each other for a few years now online, and there is a depth, a warmth, and a massive amount of integrity that I wanted to introduce you to with our guest today. She's an intuitive marketing, copyright, sales, and publicity expert rolled into one, creating marketing messages that matter, make a difference, and make money. Hello and welcome to the show, Lisa Manyon.
Thank you so much. It's just a delight to be here with you. I'm so glad to finally connect in real time after all these years of seeing each other online.
Oh, look, it's beautiful, our world today, and the timing is always impeccable, as it is today. So, folks, I want you to settle in and grab a pen and paper, and I invite you to turn off your zings and pings for 30 minutes. Please set your intention to absorb as much as you can from this engaging woman. Please let me tell you a little bit about her. Lisa is the business marketing architect and creator of a simple 3-step challenge solution invitation, which you lucky people are going to get as a gift today. So hang on to the end. The framework she has created is a marketing message with integrity, as featured in Inc. magazine and the #1 best-selling books, Wonder Woman, How Western Women Will Save the World, and Engage. Lisa empowers you to focus on passion points instead of pain points in your marketing messages to amplify results. I want to reinforce that, passion points instead of pain points. This is the new way for marketing, people, so really listen in. She reverse engineers your most powerful solutions into profitable revenue streams with a clear strategy, or each known to produce $1 million results. Recipient of the People's Choice Award at the California Women's Conference, Lisa has created training for small business development centers, presents interactive business marketing breakthrough boutiques, and custom workshops. She offers rich resources on her award-winning blog. Please note, guys, that all the links and everything you need will be down in the show notes for you. Our topic today is marketing with integrity. So let me bring out to the front our beautiful guest. And Lisa, I'd love you to please give us a description to get us started about what you do.
Well, you introduced me so beautifully and really encapsulated what I do. But, in a nutshell, I blend both strategy and messaging to get the absolute best results based on being of true service and based on looking at marketing and sales and doing business as a relationship building tool. So it's not about the transaction, it's about the relationship.
Now that is massively powerful in itself, Lisa, and this is where the words that we're hearing in marketing, your hustle and all those sort of aggressive words are really, they're falling on deaf ears to the people that our message needs to meet. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching people how to create marketing messages with integrity and really, in essence, just shifting the perception that people have because as you mentioned when you were introducing me, so many people are, I'm using air quotes here, you can't see me, but gurus are teaching us to, poke at those pain points and identify the pain points and then figure out what the big problem is and come in with a solution. And yes, having a solution to a problem is absolutely vital, but the piece that is not necessary is the poking at pain points. Mm. And so that's why I look at amplifying those passion points and painting a picture of possibility. Let's look at what the world's going to be like once a person discovers you and your product and your service, as opposed to what they're lacking right now in their life. And that changes the energy in such a beautiful way. And it really is what has me so impassioned about what I do, because I see that shift when I share my messaging with people and when I share my philosophies. People are absolutely resetting their reality.
Nice, lovely, lovely message, Lisa. I really do want to know how you amplify people's passion points, how you pull that out of people so that their message is quite literally from their soul.
Well, a big piece of it is actually unlearning what we've learned. And that's going to seem a little counterintuitive. However, even personally, I had to overcome kind of the who am I syndrome, where I knew something was off in this whole problem, agitate, and solve formula that people were teaching and poking at those pain points. And I was a little afraid to step up and say, wait a minute, this is wrong and let's do it this way. So I quietly watched that happening, but how I'm able to, it all happened very organically. So people started coming to me because they had experienced the other way. And they had worked with marketing experts and gurus and coaches and consultants and sales experts and you name it. And they were all teaching them to focus on those pain points. And so I had literally, and this is true, over the years, hundreds of people come to me and say, Lisa, we've invested all this money and we don't know why this isn't working, but our message is not resonating with who we want to serve. And so I'd have to go back to basics and say, why, first of all, what formula did you use and what's happening in your messaging? And they would basically, share, they used the problem, agitate, and solve approach, and they had all the pain points are all over their website or their brochure or whatever it might be, but it wasn't resonating. And I would just ask a simple question, when was the last time you were moved to do business with someone who was poking at your pain points? And so that shift in itself is where I start to draw the message out and where I start to bring people back to themselves, in a sense, because some of the tactics that are being taught just simply do not resonate with highly spiritual, heart-centered, and I call them mission-driven entrepreneurs. So we have to look at that and basically go back to basics and look at our values and what really motivates us and move forward from there. And instead of poking at pain points, acknowledging with empathy and understanding what the challenge is that the people we're meant to serve are experiencing. And then we can, from there, build a message around the solution that we have to offer that includes our value proposition and how that's going to make their lives better. So painting that picture of possibility instead of poking at pain points, sharing very tangible information to empower them with the knowledge they need to make an informed decision to make us the natural choice to do business with. So we are basically just removing all of the smoke and mirrors, all of the manipulative tactics, any of the pushy hard sell mechanisms that you've seen and experienced to create a very seamless relationship building experience.
My heart is pounding. I love your message. And Lisa, is there a differentiation between a person and their message and their business? Or do you know what I'm suggesting?
I know exactly what you're saying. And no, a lot of people say that there is, but there isn't, because I always say that business is personal. Right? We're here because we have a message, we have a mission, we have a product, we have a service to make the world a better place. At least the people I play with, at least the people you play with, right? Now, that's not true universally yet. However, my mission is to shift the way we're doing business so that people understand the impact they have, not only on themselves, but their communities, the people they do business with in the world.
And if this is resonating with our listeners, then you're going to be sitting here like me thinking, man, I'm going to have to listen to this again because the message is super powerful. And for those that are still doing marketing in the old way, there is room for everyone. But for those of us that are really waking up to the heart-centered way of business and connecting the dots for what feels right, this is the only way forward. And what sort of damage has marketing the old way created, Lisa?
That's such a good question. You know, by using manipulative tactics, by poking at pain points and getting people into a heightened emotional frenzy to make a buying decision, it's manipulative, plain and simple. But what happens is people decide to make that purchasing decision based on the false scarcity or the just the urgency that people are putting in there that isn't real, true, founded urgency. And it actually ends up perpetuating buyer's remorse. So, and sometimes as people, we are actually hardwired, because we've been trained this way throughout the years, to respond to a lack if you're not going to get something or something is taken away. So there's truth to that, and it can work. But what it does is it then perpetuates buyer's remorse. So once you've experienced something like that and you've made this buying decision, and then you don't feel good afterwards, you know that you have just experienced that pain point marketing. Mm-hmm. And you also know that it doesn't feel very good, right? So I'm very hesitant, and in fact, I don't point out people who are using those tactics, but what I do is I break the trance, challenge the status quo, and help engage critical thinking, so that as we experience things in our day-to-day lives and we see marketing messages that are not resonating on a deep soul level, that really tune into our values and being of true service, that we're able to recognize where we're meant to play and where we want to play with our pocketbook.
Well, Lisa, I know that when we're talking this language and we're talking feelings and soul messages, people know what feels right and what feels bad. We've all been on the receiving end of that, the hard sell and the buyer's remorse. So we've all felt that. How nice would it be to engage in a sales marketing situation that, just as you say, it builds that relationship right from the start? It's the old see me, know me, like me.
Yes, and it's so important. And, some people would argue, well, Lisa, I've got this really big business and I'm trying to scale, and so I can't do that. And I actually believe that people can do that, and there's proof. There's an organization called B Corporation who is helping benefit corporations who are fully transparent in the way they do business to create business for the greater good and to abide by a specific standard. So this can apply to the small mom and pop that's a brick and mortar. This can apply to the coach or consultant that's working globally online. This can apply to the gigantic corporation that wants to make a difference. So, there's a lot of questioning of, does this really work? If I start focusing on passion points instead of pain points, is it going to work? And the question that I always say yes, and then the question I always ask is, do you want long-term sustainability, or do you want quick fix sales? Because the pain point marketing gets the quick fix sales. So I'm not saying that it can't work, but it's not going to probably promote repeat business. It's not going to build that lasting relationship. And it's also going to oftentimes, especially in the online world, increase return rates.
Agreed 100%. And the language of our universe demands that we get more of what we put out there. So if you're out there promoting pain points, you can be expecting those back in your own life to reflect at some point in time.
Yes, and what's so fascinating is I've had people defending the pain points to me, and it's been interesting because I just sit back and I wait for them to complete their own journey, is the best way to say it. Because what they say is, but it works. And what I'm doing is I'm showing them the depths of their despair, but then I'm moving them to, that passion place that you're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, but that's manipulative. And that's not really right. And just because you eventually get them to where you think they want to go, doesn't mean that it's any less disingenuous.
Mm. Yes. Now, I know that you have a superpower. How do you work with clients to bring this message, the marketing message with integrity, out of them so that they can make a difference and make money?
Well, that is a fantastic question. So in addition to my superpower, which we'll talk more about in a minute, there is a framework that I use, but it's not really a formula. I sometimes refer to it as a formula, but the beauty of this is that it's completely customizable for every business. And it really is taking a deep look at values. And again, going back to basics and making sure that your personal mission statement and your business mission statement are in alignment with those values. And from there, you're able to really own your story and speak to the people that you're meant to serve. So you're gracefully attracting clients instead of chasing not so ideal clients. And you're really speaking to those ideal clients that you're meant to serve. And from there, really the rest is kind of history, but it is an individualized process. So while I've got self-study courses and things like that to help people walk through it, the magic is truly in my superpower, and that is my intuition. And so I am able to energetically tap into the essence of a message. And it's a hard thing to explain to most people, and I don't always talk a lot about it. But that's what happens, and oftentimes clients will say to me, it's like you were in my head, or how could you say that? It's like I was going to say that. And it truly is a divinely driven gift, and I know that.
I'm glad you found it, and I'm glad you're bringing it out for those of us that are aligned with that, so that you can help us tap into the very heart and soul of it.
Well, and the beauty of this framework that I provide is that it really does empower those of us who are intuitive. And actually, all of us are, men and women alike. Women tend to harness it a little more quickly and naturally than men. However, we all are highly intuitive. And once we tap back into that intuition, we're able to apply this to our businesses in a really, again, a graceful way. So I'm excited about that, because not everyone is going to be able to work with me one-to-one, which is why, I'm writing a book. It's why I'm creating self-study courses and doing things so that I can help empower people to, again, it's a matter of tapping into those values first. And actually what I believe very deeply is that once people revisit, or sometimes visit for the first time, some people haven't done a values exercise, or revamp their values, that actually tunes them into their intuition, because your values are based on what matters most to you. And it tunes you in deeply to what you care about and what is going to be kind of a guiding principle moving forward. And once that's in place, oh my gosh, it's so easy to just come from that place of being who you are and serving who you're meant to serve, and creating from that place of confidence and knowing.
Yeah, and that's where the magic dust is, isn't it? Because there's no misconceptions, there's no falsities. It's all just truth, and that aligns with flow, with everything that integral marketing can create.
It really does. And it makes me so happy to see these shifts happening. I remember having a conversation with these lovely women who own a bookstore here locally. And I went in to talk to them. They actually won me as a prize. I had helped sponsor a Innovate Her competition through a local business incubator and the Small Business Administration. I was one of the judges and also did a consulting package. So I went in to talk to them because they won me, which was kind of fun. And so they were asking me, what they were excited, but they weren't sure exactly what they won. And so I gifted them my Marketing with Integrity program. But I also then said, they said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I help you create marketing messages with integrity, with plans and strategy, focus on passion points instead of pain points. And in that short few minutes, one of the women said, oh my gosh, you have just removed a block that I have had for decades around marketing, because they were trying to figure out their pain points. And guess what? They are a magical children's bookstore. There is no pain. There is no pain. What there is wonder and excitement and knowledge and learning. So this is a perfect example of how painting a picture of possibility is going to draw people in. So that antiquated model was never going to work for them, and it was actually energetically stopping them from moving forward.
Yeah.
Well, they were still moving forward and doing a great business, but I mean, for moving forward to their bigger vision and what they wanted to say in their messaging.
Yeah, I'm scribbling that down. I like that. Allow your business to paint the picture of possibility. It's just absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. So, Lisa, we have time. I would love for you to let our listeners know what your options are for people to take your courses. Tell us about your book. Tell us about working with you. Give us I know you're one of the things you love to do is meet people where they're at.
Yes, I do. And so that's really important to me, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So one of the challenges that I've experienced in growing and evolving in my business is that I really want to make sure this message gets out to everyone. So that's a really good opportunity for me to share why I'm writing my book, because a book is a low entry option. A book is also available at libraries, and I'm a huge fan of libraries. So I'm going to do something fun with libraries. I don't know what that is yet, but thank you for sparking that in me again, because that's really important to me. And so there's that piece, but also I offer a complimentary copywriting action plan. So people can go to my site and get that and become a member of the Right On Creative community, which then actually gives them not only access to the copywriting action plan, which will walk them through some background on my processes and how to write better marketing messages themselves, but it talks a lot about strategy and what you need to have in place too. And as a member of the Right On Creative community, there are special savings discounts on my self-study courses. So once a person opts in, they actually get, at this point, $200 off my Marketing with Integrity self-study program. So it brings it down to only $97 for people.
Wow. That's very achievable. Well done. Far out. That makes me smile.
Thanks. Well, it made me smile too. And it's so funny because, again, I ignored what the gurus and mentors said when they say, well, you shouldn't discount your products or services because it makes people have this weird value perception. I'm like, you know what? No, this is my gift to people who choose to trust me with their email address. They choose to become a member of the Right On Creative community. They want to learn more. And look, I understand that even $297, which is the normal price, is a big chunk for some people. And I get it. I've been there. I bootstrapped my business. So when I'm building things out, although of course I can command larger rates based on the value I deliver, higher rates based on the value I deliver for one-to-one and for web copy strategies and things like that, I still want to honor people who are bootstrapping their business like I did, quite frankly, because I didn't get traditional bank financing. I did all of this on my own. And it was not easy at times. There were certainly times when I wanted to give up. So I share that just because that's why it's important to me to meet people where they are. So in addition to the self-study stuff, which really basically gives you the foundation, and I think everyone who's wanting to shift the way they market should listen to that How to Create Marketing Messages with Integrity program. But I also do one-to-one coaching, consulting, and mentoring accountability programs. And I do content strategy plans. So I help people map out their big picture and create what they're going to write about and what they're going to market. And we look at some PR angles and things like that too. So I do packages like that. And I do VIP days in Ashland, Oregon. I live in magical Ashland, Oregon. And so if people want to come and work with me one-on-one for a day and map out whatever it is that they need to map out in their business, a new revenue stream or, whatever it might be, I can help with that. And that's kind of the beauty of my ability to meet people where they are with over 2 decades of experience in marketing, advertising, copywriting, and publicity. I'm able to bring more I don't want to say more because that sounds a little conceited, but I just have so much experience that I'm able to bring a lot of things to the table that most people have not had that experience, because I've worked at ad agencies and radio stations and nonprofit organizations, and I've been running my business for over 13 years now. So there's that creative angle in there too, where I'm able to really help people position themselves beautifully to carry out their mission. And nothing excites me more. It's like I have this gift of seeing the big picture vision and then knowing exactly where all the puzzle pieces need to fit, and helping people map out a plan that turns their dreams into reality with tangible action steps.
And that's fantastic. That I wish I was anywhere near Oregon. Might be a holiday in the making, I think. That's definitely doable too. Lisa, could you please just help our viewers or listeners to come back to really just make it really clear for them from today listening to you? You've got a simple 3-step challenge. What are the 3 main steps if you were to give people just 3 things that can help them and really set them on a different path, even if it's just to open their mind, broaden their horizon, find a different way? What can you offer our listeners?
So here's the beauty of all of this. If you can talk, you can write, and you can create a marketing message that matters, makes a difference, and makes money. And that sounds maybe like it could be a challenge for some, but it's really not as difficult as we make it, right? So the framework that I teach is the challenge, solution, and invitation framework. And I'm going to quickly share each of those steps so that people can embrace them. So with the challenge piece, basically we just have to acknowledge the challenge that our ideal clients are going through. So what's happening in their life? What is really going on? What makes them want or need our product or service? And we come at that from the angle of empathy and understanding. So knowing exactly what that challenge is so that we can, again, kind of, like you mentioned, I like to meet people where they are. We have to meet them where they are, as opposed to trying to force them into where we want them to go, right? Because no one likes to be forced. So acknowledging that challenge by knowing exactly what it is that they're looking for. Then the solution piece, this is where it gets really fun and juicy. I love this piece. So the solution piece is where we really get to shine. We get to share what our big solution is and how we're going to help make their life different in whatever we're doing, whether it's a product, a service, an experience, whatever that might be. And what's really important is we don't just say, like I wouldn't just say, I see that your challenge is you need someone to write your web content. Well, I've got a 5-page web copy package. What I would do is illustrate with value proposition how working with me, and value proposition can be a case study or a testimonial, but what I would illustrate, say, I would love to help you with your content. Yes, I can help with that. And people who have experienced working with me on their web content have experienced really great return on investment. And what I mean by that is I've helped them map out new revenue streams where in one single sale, they've tripled their investment with me.
Wow.
And now have a wait list, and the program's sold out. So that's a little bit long-winded, and it would be a little bit more eloquent when you fine-tune, but I wanted to just give a quick example. So sharing not only what you can do to help, sharing how it's going to help them, and some examples of how you've actually achieved real-world results instead of just fluffy promises, because we know there's a lot of fluffy promises out there. So what you do when you illustrate not only your solution but your value proposition, and you share in a story format how you've helped others and how you might be able to help them, you're empowering them with the information they need to make an educated decision and to make you the natural choice to do business with. So it's just a matter of building relationships and sharing that information. And the final step, the invitation piece, becomes really seamless. So most people get stuck on asking for business and selling because there's also some negative connotations with selling. Yeah. But when you're being of true service, you don't have to sell in the pushy, hard sell way. You can simply say, so how did that sound to you? And would you like to explore the next steps as opposed to, trying to push someone into the corner and force them to buy? And oftentimes by tapping into those emotions with empathy and understanding at the very beginning when you're acknowledging the challenge, and then during the solution, clearly painting a picture of possibility, you're able to easily extend that invitation with grace, and they're going to want to move to the next step if it's a good fit. Now, the one piece that I didn't mention in the solution piece is that sometimes when we acknowledge the challenge, we realize that our solution is not the best solution for this person. So this person may not be our ideal client. It may be a not so ideal client, or it may just be someone that would be served better by someone else. So within the solution piece, there should be room for referral. And so if you're deeply listening and you really understand your ideal clients, then you can say, oh gosh, well, I'm not the best fit for this, but I do know someone who is, so let me connect you.
Yes.
Now, I get this won't always be possible because you're not always going to be having the conversation with people. However, if you're crafting your message knowing that you want to tap into a deep understanding of where your client really is, and that you want to offer the very best solution for the space that they're in, and you have case studies that you can share to illustrate you're the best choice, and then extend that invitation, also known as a call to action, it becomes seamless. It's like, oh my gosh, why was I making this so difficult? Well, it was so difficult because you were using a formula that's broken and doesn't feel right to you.
Yes, and often many of us, and I'm not a big fan of labels, but I'm very empathic, and I do feel how people are feeling. And I get to that stage personally where I have a massive referral space, and it's reciprocal. I never consider that, oh my gosh, I'm losing a sale. If the person's not a right fit for you, then they're not a right fit. And it has ways of sorting itself out in the long run.
It really does, and I believe that there is more than enough business to go around. I also believe that we are in the collaboration economy where people are the true currency, and it's time that we start acting like it.
And that's where we're moving, let's face it. Our world is shifting, thankfully, into that direction, into a collective, collaborative community. And how beautiful is that? I mean, here we are sharing our combined knowledge today and offering enormous value on top of that. What you've done for marketing, Lisa, is amazing. I am not at all surprised that you've won awards.
Thank you so much. And it's so funny when you're in alignment, these things happen seamlessly as well. It's really so fascinating and interesting to me because the truth is I'm what you would call a reluctant speaker. I didn't ever want to be on the stage. I was perfectly content in my office writing content and helping people with strategies on the phone, and the universe, the world had different ideas and plans for me. So I've been shaken to some pretty big stages, which were very surprising for me, but it was the magnitude of the message, and it was the demand of the message that made me step up and realize, okay, this is the charge that I have been given, and I can't really argue with that, and more people need to hear it, and so I guess I have to step up and do this. So
I have one question on that line, Lisa. How many times did you get a smack over the back of the head when you tried to veer off your path?
Well, a lot. And I'll tell you what, when we try to, seriously, when we don't listen to that divine guidance that says this is your mission, whether you hear it or you just feel it intuitively, it varies from people, person to person. But yeah, I've tried to hide. That did not work.
It never does. It never does. I'm so glad you just kept going at it.
Well, and I'm still amazed. I really am. The more exposure that this gets and the more people that are getting on board, I'm just so delighted. And I'm continually surprised by it, not because, I don't know why, I guess because it seems so simple to me.
Yeah.
And yet it's so powerful and it's such a big shift for people that it's mind-blowing on so many levels. And I feel blessed and honored that I am the conduit for this message.
Well, I'm very blessed and honoured that I found you to bring to our community. And I'd love to thank you for joining us, for coming on the show and for sharing your light with us today, Lisa, as well as all that you do for those of us and those that are lucky enough to find you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been an absolute delight.
So, folks, if you're after full clarity to own your message, new revenue streams that amplify you, you'll find Lisa at www.writeoncreative.com. Full details are down in the show notes, including the free copywriting action plan. And also you can get connected on a call with Lisa. So look for that link below as well. Lisa, once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us. I wish you much love and light on your journey in helping change the world of marketing.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys and girls. That's it for us today. You can find me, Michelle Reinhardt, at $1,000,000mindset.com. We'll see you next week. And remember to shine bright, superstars, because that's why you're here. See you next week. Bye.